In this video, I'm coming on here again with my thoughts, my opinion, and I wanted to talk about people who are sick, like for example in St. Jude's Children's Hospital and other hospitals, every hospital. I want to talk about people, that are sick and some of the things that make a person sick. Okay, one thing that makes a person sick is negative energy, negativeness. Did you know that a very negative person can come around you and it can cause you to feel bad? It can cause you to feel uptight when a very negative person comes around you. You know what a negative person is? A person that's got intentions to do evil, a person that don't care, a person that's not trying to help their self. When they come around you, it can make you feel kind of sick. It will. They'll make you feel sick. It's that negative. It's the negativeness is idleness, which is evil, like an evil presence. So what you do is you kind of stay away from them. When somebody comes around you that's idle, okay, and they're carrying a negative presence, okay, try to think about why they're carrying a negative presence. Now, most people, I would say about every person on the earth has had idleness at one time or another, which means they get their mind on, the wrong things and get their mind idle, and they think, make jokes about things they shouldn't joke about, and they kind of take things for granted, and then they, it's something you go through in order to learn right from wrong. You ever heard the expression, ask a winner and you'll probably find they've lost it sometime? Okay, so when you meet somebody that's idle, you just try to give them ideas what they can do to help themselves. If you meet an idle, negative person, just think of the ideas that you can tell them to do that could help themselves. Say, they might have a little weight on them. They might be a little bit overweight. You might tell them, if you know an exercise they can do that'll help them lose weight, tell them about the exercise. Tell them about food they can eat that will help them lose weight along with the exercise. And that's one thing you can do. I mean, maybe you see they got strong hands. Maybe you can say, you tell them, you can do this job down here. You got strong hands. I know there's a job that needs somebody with strong hands to do, or you can tell them a hobby they can get into that they can do easily because they have strong hands. That's trying to help them out. But I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody tells you they got a headache, and a headache can make you real grumpy and give you kind of a bad attitude. So they say they got a headache. Headaches come from high blood pressure, somebody cursing, screaming, raging. Okay. When people curse and scream and rage, a lot of times it's because they're overstressed. Maybe because they don't mind their own business. You tell them to mind their own business and they won't be getting around other people that stress them out. So, okay, but if they have a headache, you say don't take a painkiller, don't take no drugs, don't take no drugs, don't drink no alcohol. So if you got a headache, this is what you do. You go outside in the fresh air and you blow all the air out of your lungs. And then you take slow little short puffs of air and inhale like until your lungs are filled up, and then you tell them to inhale slowly but little short puffs of air until their lungs are full up, and then they hold it in they take a deep breath and hold it in for about 10 seconds. Do this about, 1 minute. 1 minute would mean 6 times. If they hold their breath for 10 seconds each time, it would take 6 times to make 1 minute. So they hold their breath for 1 minute. Not 1 minute straight. They hold a breath for 10 seconds, 6 times, and that makes total of 60 seconds. So they do this, and that'll help the headache go away if they're in fresh air. Now, they got high blood pressure. I'll tell you what helps against high blood pressure is they sell it in most grocery stores, and I'm telling you, this really works too. It's called a Simply Lemonade. Simply Lemonade is the name of it. Simply, like the word simple, only with lemonade at the end, but simply Lemonade. You drink about half the bottle or the whole bottle. It's this big. It's about like half a gallon, but it'll make your headache go away too, and it lowers your blood pressure. But I'm going to tell you right now, if you're taking warfarin or blood thinners or aspirin, be careful about drinking lemonade, because when you mix lemonade with aspirin, it makes the effects of the aspirin very intense. Like lemonade kind of makes aspirin more potent to your body. So be careful. In other words, don't drink lemonade and take aspirin at the same time. I didn't know that until I took some BC powder and then I drank lemonade. You know, I didn't know that would do that, but I found I almost passed out. I found out it was the lemonade reacting with the BC headache powder in me. It made my blood even more thinner. The lemonade thins your blood somewhat. Okay, but you say someone's sick. I'm gonna give my opinion on these children that are in the hospital, St. Jude's Hospital. I feel sorry for those poor little kids, man. They got cancer. It's awful. But I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is something I believe would help the children in the hospitals, and really anyone any human who is sick. And that's this right here. Get any human who is sick, get them away from negativity. Get them away from anything negative. And boy, are there a lot of things that are negative. Take a sick person and get them in a area or in a position where they're not around material things. I'm gonna make a long story real short. Okay. And I know a lot of people might think this is crazy what I'm about to say, but it really works. If you know someone who is sick, I'm not. Well, before I say this, I'm going to tell you I'm not a physician. I'm not a doctor. I'm saying things. I'm giving my opinion on things that have worked for me. And I believe it would work for other people too. But so what I was going to say was this right here. If you know someone that's sick, it don't matter what's wrong with them, whether they got cancer, whether they got AIDS, whether they got hepatitis, no matter what they have, let me tell you something right now. And most doctors would laugh at what I'm about to say. But get that person, get the sick person with cancer, no matter what's wrong with them, get them away from all negativity. Get them away from material things. In other words, and like I said, what I'm about to tell you, most doctors would laugh at it. Most people would laugh at it. But I'll make it short. Take sick people out of the hospitals at nighttime. take them out on a green, grassy yard. You may have to take their IVs with them and other things that are going with them, but believe me, this works. Get them away from everything where they can't see material things, food wrappers, toys. Try to get the sick person's mind off of all material things and get them out in the dark. Try to get the sick person out in the dark on a green grassy lawn at nighttime and get the sick person's mind off of all material things. This really works, and I'm about to tell you. And keep their mind off of things. Leave the sick person laying in the bed or on a cot. Out on the lawn, out on a green grassy lawn, away from everything. Get the sick person's mind off of everything. And get them off drugs. Get the sick person off of drugs, off of alcohol. Get all the drugs out of their system. Why? Because you want positive energy. You want positive things to come into the sick person and help heal their body. That's why I'm telling you, get them. They must not have drugs in their system for this to work. They won't have to sleep out on the lawn for a long time. Well, until it starts raining. Of course, they have to have shelter. But let them sleep outside in the night on a green grassy lawn. I'm telling you, what I'm saying is not a joke. It is not a joke. It works. You got to get the sick person's mind cleared of material things. And one of the ways to do that is get them away from material things so they can't look at it. Like, in a hospital, children look at toys, they look at bottles, they look at everything around them. They see these colorful things on the wall. You got to get their mind off all that. And I don't know if I should go in and tell you why that is, but it has something to do with oh boy, this is tough. I'm trying to explain this, to where people would understand what I'm trying to say. I'll tell you something right now. I'll tell you one more thing. Maybe I can explain. Maybe I'll tell you later why I'm telling you to do this with sick people. But right now I'll tell you that rainwater, if you get a cut on your skin, rainwater makes the cut heal faster. Yeah, it does. Rainwater out of the sky falling down on a cut will make the cut heal faster. You see, there are things around you. When you look around, you see trees, you see grass, you see flowers, you see leaves, you see green things. And there are things that human beings have mixed together and made, like plastic, like, things. There's things that human beings make that are, that are human made. And there's things that nature makes or God makes that are around you, like trees with green leaves and green grass, and and then there's corn and potatoes and food that grows in the garden. But you see those things, and then there's, all right, what are the better things between the things that the good Lord made and the things that man made? The things the good Lord made are better. You know that. So, get your mind off of things that humans make. to help heal your sickness, get your mind off of negative things. I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of negative things around you. This thing right here can be a negative thing. This remote control to a TV can be a negative thing. I'm telling you. Yeah, it's just big. When you see and I'm going to tell you why that is. When you see a remote control to a TV, what's the first thing you think? You think about TV. All right. When you think about TV, what do you think? Movies. When you think about movies, you think about, what kind of movie do I like? Oh, I like to see this guy right here blowing up this guy right here with a gun. I like to, oh man. Man. Have you seen this movie right here, man? Batman. Look at all these people he's beating up. Oh, have you seen this movie, man? Rambo. Look, he shoots this guy with a machine gun. Look at the holes going through him. That's not good. That's violence. God didn't mean for people to kill each other, but God didn't mean for people to kill each other. Let me tell you something right now. So when you get a remote control in your hand, you think about TV. When you think about TV, you think about what movies you like, and that's what's going to come in your mind. It's called temptation. But so you don't look at the remote. Don't look at it. Get all things away from you that distract you. That's what I'm saying. And you go out, and sometimes you got to go away from things that distract. Well, you got to go away from things that distract you. And then your mind's like blank. And then the good things come in your mind, you know. You know, we live in a world. Okay, I'll say this right here. We live in a world that's both spiritual. This is what I think. We live in a world that's both spiritual and physical. Physical, flesh and blood. Your physical body likes things. Like I said before, your physical body likes things. Your body likes food. Your body likes this. Your body likes that. But you have to train your body. You make the decisions. You're responsible for your own destiny. Well, let me tell you right now, it's just it goes that way with material things too. There are programs on TV that are not as that are shown that are not as bad as other ones. Educational programs, you know, programs that help a person to programs about exercise and programs about God. It's better to watch somebody talk about God, you know, and talk about the things God says than it is for them to show somebody getting shot with a machine gun and torn to pieces. When you see somebody get shot with a gun on TV, what do you think? What do you? No, I'm not. I would ask you to ask yourself, what do you think deep down inside of you? What's the last thought inside of you that you have when you see someone get shot with a gun? Don't part of you down inside cry when you see that? Yeah, you do. Because that's, you know, it's wrong. So, you know, you don't like seeing this stuff. It's you know, it's evil in the world. But it don't have to be that way. I mean, you don't have to be part of it. And I'm talking to every living human being on this earth when I say that. But I'm going to tell you, I'm going to go back to the people in hospitals now. You know, when you meet people in hospitals, when you go to a hospital, you know, try to convince the doctors, or if you can, get the sick people out of the hospital and get them out in the dark, you know, out on the lawn. And let them sleep. Don't put the sick people side by side. Put them like far away from each other. You know, if I ever had the money, which would be, it would probably take $1 billion to do it. But if I ever had the money, I would have a place built for people who are sick, a special place. I'd have a green hill set up and have another green hill set up and another one. I'd have people in between them. I'd have people in between green hills, like, you know, where they'd be outside, always getting fresh air, but it wouldn't get rained on and it wouldn't freeze. But anyway, I'm trying to tell you my opinion and things and ways I think to help. Is it? Let me ask you a question. Is it cool to see somebody in sorrow? Do you like? Ask yourself a question. Do you like sorrow? Do you like sadness? Do you like mourning? Do you like being unhappy? No. Do you like grieving? No. You don't like sadness. You don't like grieving. You don't like sorrow. You don't like happy. Well, let me tell you something. I mean, you don't. Let me start. Let me say that I said the wrong thing when I said you don't like happy. You don't like being unhappy. You don't like being hurting on the inside. You don't like hurting on the inside. You don't like sorrow. You don't like pain. You don't like grieving. You don't like mourning. You don't like missing your friend. You don't like missing your brother. Well, let me tell you something. When you think it's cool to do evil things, you're eventually going to lose. And then you will be sorry. You will be unhappy. You will feel mourning. You will grieve. Then everybody will be sad. That's what some of the things that people think are cool lead up to. So if you think it's cool to spit on people and mistreat them, and you think it's cool to be cruel to people and not help homeless people and laugh at people and make fun of them, let me tell you something. Someday you will grieve and mourn, and horrible grief and sadness because of what you believe. It'll be like a part of hell on you. And you will feel pain. Let me tell you, there's not one person on this earth that can say they like to feel pain. But if you don't do what's right, you're going to feel pain. You're going to feel pain throughout, on and off, throughout this life. That's why I tell you, stay away from evil, man. Stay away from evil things. And it can't get in your mind. And you'll be happier. I myself, I think about moving. I live in the United States right now. I think about moving to another country all the time. Maybe Israel. Maybe somewhere where it's more peaceful, That's what I want. I don't want to suffer. I don't want grief. I don't want to mourn. But let me tell you, about, like I was talking about sick people in the hospital. Try to help sick people get all material things off their mind. Try to help them get gold and silver and toys and stuff like that off their mind. And help the sick people get fresh air to breathe all the time, day and night. Help the sick people get fresh air to breathe. Like I said, sick people in hospitals, no matter what's wrong with them, they should be placed outside on green grass. And they should sleep outside on the grass in the dark. Even with an IV stuck in them, but get them off drugs. Believe me when I'm telling you, it works. If they got cancer, it may go away. You know how your body is. Of course you have to eat. Of course you have to stay so warm. Of course you can't be too hot. Of course you got to drink. Everybody has to do all those things. But that don't mean you can't sleep outside. and breathe fresh air all the time. Think about what I'm saying and try to help these sick people in the hospitals. But like I said, if the sick people are on drugs, that's not gonna. The drugs are not gonna help. Drugs will. Drugs are not good to be on. It's bad. See, when you get your mind off of some things, other things will enter into your mind. And I ask yourself, why is that? How does that happen? So, do what I said. I'm just sharing my thoughts and opinions. Leave a comment under this video. Tell me what you think. And when I think of some more things, and learn some more things, I'll put them on here.